Hey up people, welcome back to the Danger Pit. So for International Barbecue Week back in May, I recorded a few recipes to share with you guys. I've broken them down into smaller videos so you can just skip to the parts that interest you. The links to the other videos are in the description below. Now with that out of the way, let's get into it. Jerk chicken, part 1, prep and marination.
Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I do jerk chicken on my smoker. This is going to be a spicy, aromatic, really intense jerk chicken. I'm going to be having it out on the Danger Pit for around about 2 hours, rolling it with some oak smoke, which will give it a nice, deep, strong, earthy flavour, which should cut right through the spicy, sour taste of the marinade that's going to be on the chicken. We're going to start with a dry brine, and then after 4 hours we'll get it into the marinade itself, and then leave it overnight, and then tomorrow I'll get it out onto the pit. While we're cooking on the pit, I'm going to talk you guys through how my smoker works and how smoking in general works, and then when we're getting ready to plate up, I'm going to run through you guys how I do a really quick, really simple rice and pea recipe, which will tie this all together and it'll be absolutely delicious. So let's get to it.
So something I forgot to mention, because I got all excited because I'm recording again, was what the objective of this was. So basically, I was watching a Jamaican chef cook traditional jerk in his restaurant. He cooked his chicken direct over a live fire of oak logs, and he mentioned how much flavour the wood and smoke added. So I figured, let's see if we can recreate this recipe and cook it offset in my smoker. The secondary objective is to see if I can get some crispy skin on the chicken, even though my recipe for marinade involves a lot more moisture than this person's does, and so the only way to find out is by doing, so let's get some chicken on the grill.
Alright guys, first things first, we're going to take this chicken, we're going to quarter it down, and then we're going to get it marinated. Everything that you see here is going to go into the marinade, and I'll put the recipe in the description at the bottom of the video.
So first thing we need to do is break this bird down into its legs, breasts and wings. Now, I'm definitely not the person to teach you how to do this bit. There are far better videos on YouTube by much more talented people than me that detail how to do this. So instead, let's talk about how I source my meat. Now, this chicken I'm defiling in front of you came from Hornhill Farm, out in East Yorkshire. I purchased it through my pals at Wilson Butchers, here in Leeds. You'll hear me talking a lot on this channel about the importance of building a relationship with your local butcher and sourcing your meats locally. It's really important to me, and so let's quickly touch on the pros and cons now. So the benefits include animal welfare. A happy bird that's raised truly free range on a farm with room to live and do chicken things has a higher quality of life. That's one of the main responsibilities of being an ethical meat eater in my eyes. Now the side effect of that is a naturally raised chicken tastes significantly better. The flesh will be moist and tender with a much more satisfying mouthfeel and have a much clearer flavour. Battery farm chickens tend to have a mealier texture and a more muted flavour. I support local businesses. I'd much rather my money was spent supporting small businesses close to my home, maintaining jobs and livelihoods here in Yorkshire. And lastly, the environmental impact of being a meat eater. A chicken raised and slaughtered locally has a much smaller carbon footprint compared to something that's traipsed the length and breadth of the British Isles. As an aging hippie, that matters to me. Now, there are two downsides to sourcing your meat from your local butchers. Obviously, the first one is the inconvenience of it. It's a lot more convenient to go to a supermarket and get everything in one shop, but you know, come on, don't be lazy. The second downside is cost. And this one's significant. A medium-sized supermarket chicken will cost you £3 to £4 here in the UK, whereas the same size local produce from your butcher will probably cost you between £8 to £9. It's up to you to decide if the pros outweigh the cons, but for me, they definitely do. Anyway, I feel like I've made my point, and I look forward to making it again down the line. Now I should probably explain what I'm doing here. Now I've combined demerara sugar and salt together, and I'm rubbing it into the flesh and under the skin of the chicken pieces. The salt will act as a drawing agent, pulling moisture from the surface of the flesh and the skin itself. My hope is this will create crispier chicken as it smokes. The logic behind the sugar is that I'll be running the smoker hot at a steady 325 degrees Fahrenheit. I just wanted to interrupt here and point out that this baking tray was once stainless steel. Cooked with it a lot in the pit, so it's disgusting. Hopefully the sugar will caramelise, adding another layer of depth to the flavour. So what I'm doing now is laying these chicken fillets out evenly on a baking tray. The wire rack will allow air to reach all the areas of the chicken, and any excess moisture will drop in the tray below. Leave them chilling in the fridge for about 4 hours. By then the skin will become transparent. While the dry brine does its thing though, we can use that time to throw the marinade together.
Couple lemons and limes. Next thing we've got a couple of scotch bonnets. Next we'll get some ginger chopped. I'm going to use about half a bulb of garlic. Garlic. Right, I've got some fresh thyme. I like to use thyme that's still growing. You can buy it in the supermarket where it's still in the soil. It just adds a stronger flavour, it's got a nicer aroma to it, so let's give this a haircut. This is the bit we're going to use. You don't want to eat this bit, it doesn't taste good, I've tried. You could stand and take this all off the stalks if you want, but I'm not going to do that. Life's too short, it's just a marinade. There we go, and that's your time. These are all the ingredients we're going to add. Right, we're going to add this to our measuring jug. My thyme, ginger, garlic. You'll notice I'm not a very clean cook. Anybody who's worked with me professionally in kitchens in the past knows that I'm not a clean cook. This isn't a good thing. My scotch bonnets, my spring onions, red onions, lime juice, lemon juice. I'm going to add around about a tablespoon of allspice, about a tablespoon of black pepper, a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This isn't very traditional, apple cider vinegar, not in jerk. I just like it. I put it in everything, just to let it down with a little bit of olive oil. Just a touch. Okay guys, and so here's where we're at. We've got this pretty gnarly looking marinade, but it smells incredible. It's so fresh and spicy. It's hurting my eyes, it's so spicy. Okay guys, so it's time to glove up and get intimate with this chicken. Now, a lot of people joke on the internet, you know, you're not a professional until you're wearing your black gloves when you're handling the barbecue, and you know, whatever, shut up.
Okay, so 4 hours in, skin's gone translucent. We've got a bunch of moisture fishing around at the bottom of this tray, so we're ready to introduce the chicken to the jerk marinade and we'll leave it overnight. Okay, so that's the chicken sorted. Join us in part 2 where we discuss sides. If you want to skip the sides, then follow the link in the description to part 3 where we discuss the basics of smoking. If you want to jump straight into the fire watching, then head on over to part 4 where we talk about today's fire while we plate up our dinner.